Morning friends, happy Thursday. How the heck you doing? And what brilliant news to wake up to on this Thursday morning, because it would appear the media were onto something since Sunday and Harry and Meghan are moving back to the UK, albeit perhaps for a temporary period, and their kids will be enrolled in UK schools. They'll maintain the house in California and the same in Portugal. But it seems the UK is going to be their main base for the next few years, I would assume, to maintain the stability of the kids' schooling at least. And I think it's brilliant. It's what the UK needs at the moment. People that get up, show up, do good with enthusiasm and momentum, and people that use the media to shine a light on the things that the world should be talking about. What this means for the rest of the lazy, parasitic royal family, it's not good news. The revelation about Charles Spencer's book, reopening the tragic life that Diana had, Harry's mum, these two are now moving back. And I assure you, William and Kate will be absolutely incandescent with rage about this. Because Harry and Meghan being around, showing up, doing good, is going to highlight yet again how inferior Kate and William are. The low work rate, the low levels of intelligence, the shrugs of the shoulder when work needs being done, the constant holidays from William and Kate, they will be exposed by comparison to Harry and Meghan for the people that they really are. I would not want to be around William and Kate or that family when this news broke, because they will not be happy. These people are good. The rest of them, even if you don't believe they're bad, the rest of that family is boring and lazy. My opinion's not important. Yours is. Comments are open. Tell the world what you think.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sussex Square, the place where we keep the conversation going about Prince Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet. Today, we have a story that could mark one of the most significant chapters in the Sussex family's journey since they stepped away from royal duties 6 years ago. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are reportedly preparing to return to Britain later this month, and this time they are not expected to be traveling alone. Their children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, are expected to join them, with reports saying that the two children are enrolled at a British school and are expected to begin classes in September. And let me tell you, Sussex supporters, this is not simply another royal headline. This is a family making a major decision about where they want to spend part of their lives. It is a decision involving their children, their future, Harry's connection to his home country, and Meghan's continued work through her businesses and projects. And perhaps most importantly, it shows that returning to Britain does not necessarily mean returning to the old royal system. Harry and Meghan can come home on their own terms. That distinction is incredibly important. According to Reuters, the Sussexes intend to relocate from California to somewhere outside London for an extended period, while maintaining their existing homes in California and Portugal. Their children are expected to attend school in Britain, so this is not necessarily a permanent goodbye to California. It looks much more like the Sussex family is creating another home base. And for Harry, there is something deeply meaningful about that. Britain is where he was born. It is where he grew up. It is where his mother, Princess Diana, left an enormous legacy. And it is also the country where his children have a unique family history. Archie was born in Britain, while Lilibet was born in California. Now, according to today's reports, both children could experience British schooling and everyday life in the country their father once called home. That is a huge change for the young family. But there is another detail that I think deserves attention. The reports say that Harry and Meghan will not be returning as working royals. They are not suddenly becoming working members of the royal family. They are not announcing a return to official royal duties. Instead, they are reportedly establishing a private home and continuing their independent lives. And honestly, that may be the most Sussex part of the entire story. Harry and Meghan have spent years building a life outside the traditional royal structure. They have created businesses, they have worked on charitable projects, they have produced documentaries and other media projects. Meghan has continued developing as ever. Harry has continued his work with veterans and charitable causes. So why should returning to Britain automatically mean giving all of that up? It doesn't. They can be in Britain without being inside the institution. They can be close to family without becoming working royals. They can give Archie and Lilibet a connection to Britain without surrendering their independence. And that is why I think this story should be viewed as a family decision rather than simply another chapter in the royal drama. Now, of course, the tabloids have reacted strongly, and if you have followed Harry and Meghan for any length of time, you already know that the British tabloid press was never going to treat this as an ordinary relocation. The Sun has described the move in dramatic terms, calling it a shock return, and focusing heavily on the fact that the Sussexes left Britain around 6 years ago. The paper has also reported that the children are expected to attend school in Britain. The Telegraph, meanwhile, was among the publications to first report the planned move and described the Sussexes as preparing to relocate back to Britain. And this is where we need to separate the headline drama from what is actually being reported. A tabloid may call it a shock move. Another may describe it as a royal bombshell. But at the heart of all those dramatic headlines is a much simpler story. A family is choosing to spend more time in Britain. That is the fact. Everything else is interpretation. And some of the tabloid coverage has already turned the story into a question about whether Harry is somehow returning to the royal family. But reports currently say the opposite. Harry and Meghan are not returning as working royals. Their private status remains important. Their independence remains intact. And that is something Sussex supporters should keep in mind when reading the headlines. The move does not erase everything that happened over the past 6 years. It does not mean Harry has suddenly changed his position on stepping away from official royal duties. It does not mean Meghan has abandoned the life they built in California. It simply means that Britain may once again become an important part of their family life. And personally, I think that is a powerful development, because Harry has always had a complicated relationship with Britain. It is his home. It is also the place where he experienced some of the most painful chapters of his life. He has spoken openly about his concerns surrounding security and the safety of his family. So the fact that he is now reportedly prepared to spend an extended period in Britain with Meghan and their children is significant. It suggests that the family has reached a point where they believe they can make this work. And that brings us to Archie and Lilibet. The children are at the heart of this entire decision. According to today's reports, they are expected to start school in Britain in September. Think about what that could mean for them. They will have the opportunity to experience a different environment. They will be closer to their father's British family. They will have greater exposure to the country connected to their father's childhood. And they can still maintain the American side of their lives. This does not have to be about choosing one country over another. It can be about giving children the opportunity to know both parts of their heritage. And I believe that is an important perspective that sometimes gets lost in the royal headlines. Archie and Lilibet are not political pieces. They are children. Their parents have the right to consider what they believe is best for them. And if Harry and Meghan believe Britain can provide something valuable for their children at this stage of their lives, then that deserves to be respected. Now, there is another part of this story that has caught everyone's attention: King Charles. Reports say King Charles was informed about the move, and there has been considerable discussion about what the Sussex return could mean for his relationship with Harry and his grandchildren. This is where I think we should resist the temptation to create a reunion that has not actually been announced. There is no official announcement saying Harry and William have completely reconciled. There is no announcement that Harry and Meghan are returning to royal duties. There is no announcement that the Sussexes are moving into a royal residence. What we do have is a reported move back to Britain and signs of a potentially warmer relationship between Harry and his father. And sometimes that is enough. Families don't repair relationships overnight. Sometimes the first step is simply being closer. Sometimes it's being able to see each other more easily. Sometimes it's allowing children and grandparents to spend more time together. And perhaps that is one of the possibilities created by this move. Harry can be closer to his father, Charles can potentially spend more time with Archie and Lilibet, and the children can develop their own relationship with their British family. That does not require Harry and Meghan to surrender their independence. It simply creates opportunities. Now, of course, there is one name that keeps appearing whenever Harry's return to Britain is discussed: Prince William. The media has already begun asking the obvious question: will Harry and William meet? Could this move lead to reconciliation between the brothers? Could Archie and Lilibet create a bridge between the two sides of the family? These are fascinating questions, but they remain questions. The current reports do not establish that a major Harry-William reconciliation has been agreed. And I think that's important to say because Sussex Square should give you the story without turning speculation into fact. At the same time, we should not pretend reconciliation is impossible. Life changes, families change, people grow, children grow, circumstances change. Harry is now reportedly making a decision that could put him physically closer to his family in Britain than he has been for years. That alone creates new possibilities. Maybe there will be private conversations. Maybe there will be family occasions. Maybe Harry and William will eventually find a way forward. Or perhaps it will take much longer. Either way, the Sussexes do not need to rush. They can move at their own pace. And Meghan deserves particular credit for supporting a decision that could reconnect her children with an important part of their family history while continuing to maintain the independent life she and Harry have built. Meghan is also expected to continue her business activities, including, as ever, while the family is based in Britain. Harry, meanwhile, is expected to continue his charitable and veterans work. So this is not Harry and Meghan abandoning their California life. It is not Meghan disappearing from her business world. It is not Harry becoming a working royal again. It's a new arrangement, a new chapter, and perhaps that's the best way to describe it: a new chapter. Now, let's talk about the tabloid reaction one more time, because there's something interesting happening. The language is dramatic. Shock return, bombshell, royal blindside, coming home. These are the kinds of phrases appearing in coverage. The Sun has particularly emphasized the surprise element and has even speculated about the possible location of the family's new home. But the precise address has not been publicly disclosed, and reports emphasize that the residence will be private and non-royal. And honestly, I think keeping their home private is